Hello, my beautiful friends. Hope you're doing amazing. Today we're going to be doing a get ready with me. I'm going to tell you my birth story. We got a lot of stuff in this video if that's something you'd be interested in. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Audrey. Thank you so much for being here. Please consider subscribing down below before you leave. We talk about makeup over here. I'm just a mom who loves makeup, and that's what we do. And if you're returning, hi, hello, welcome. I love and appreciate you, and let's get started. Wow, I feel like a whole different person. Okay, so, hi, hello. This is my first video back after having a baby. We're going to try on some new makeup. At the end, we'll go through all the makeup products. I'll kind of give you my first impressions-ish. We're going to talk about also at the end what is coming on my channel, videos in store, and, yeah, I'm going to tell you my birth story while I put some makeup on. She will have a little cameo at the end, so stick around for that. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so if I forgot to mention anything, everything is linked in the description box. Affiliate links if you want to support the channel. But, yeah, I already did my brows. Merit Brow Combination. And I picked up the two new Edam gloss bombs, Le Choo Choo lip softening balms, the two new shades they came out with. I put on the glittery one. I really, really like the glittery one. And I don't remember which one it is. So, okay, so Sakura Shaved Ice is the pink one, and then like the clear with some pink sparkles in it is Chateau Rose. So, these are incredible, and I absolutely love the scents and the smells they came out with. Okay, let's get some makeup on my face. I have not put makeup on in a minute. So, my birth story. I'm sure you saw by the title, because I did say I was going to title this like the most insane birth I've ever had. Because it was. So, if you're new here, hey, I just had a week ago today, 7 days ago, I had my 7th and last baby. She will be the last addition to our family, and yeah, I had her 7 days ago. So her birthday is February 19th, and I'm 7 days postpartum, which doesn't feel like a lot, but I've done this so many times. I really feel a lot better than I'd have in the past week. So I was really excited to sit down and film and play with makeup, because I haven't been doing that actually for quite a while. The last trimester of pregnancy is very hard. So that is what we're doing today. Have had a newborn for a whole week. Okay, let me start at the beginning. The beginning of the story. I posted a video update, kind of talking about what had happened, how she was breech, and at that point we were just kind of waiting for her to show up. And she was breech, but then she fixed herself, which was cool. And then we were just waiting. So I had scheduled an induction for the 19th, which was my due date, February 19th, 40 weeks due date, scheduled an induction. And for the last 2 babies, I haven't actually had to go in for that induction. I usually schedule it, but then I go into labor about 39-ish weeks, like a week before my scheduled induction. But that's not what happened with this one. We were waiting, and we thought she'd show up, and then she didn't, and then she didn't, and then she didn't. So we thought for sure we were going to make it to the induction day. And then, so 7:30 was the scheduled induction, and then at like 12:45, 1 o'clock that morning of the induction, so that Thursday, I woke up with contractions. and they got worse and they wouldn't go away. And that's how you know, at least that's how I know, not a doctor. That's how I know that it's go time, right? Because I have contractions like the last couple weeks of my pregnancy, but if they don't go, they usually just go away. If they don't go away, it's usually time to go into the hospital. And they were getting worse. So we went into the hospital. We got there at 3 a.m. on the day that we were scheduled for the induction. Which is just, I mean, it is what it is. It was kind of annoying at the time, right? We were all, at least my mom was already here. My mom was already here. We were just all kind of ready to go in for an induction. And she changed the plans again. She kept changing the plans the whole pregnancy. Really shouldn't make plans. But anyways, we went in 3 a.m. that day. We got there, and I was already dilated to a 6, almost a 7. And I have never gone into the hospital being so far dilated. Usually, I get there, I'm about a 3 or a 4. So it was pretty surprising. I almost wonder if like my body was just kind of, been through this so many times. I had almost maybe gained a little bit more of a tolerance for contractions, but it is what it is. We showed up and they were like, I walked in and I said, 7th baby, GBS positive, and I want an epidural. And I mean, I'd done this so many times. I knew what I wanted. The nurses were like, okay. So that was pretty much my plan. Like, walk in, tell them what I wanted. That was it. So they checked me, almost a 7, and they were like frantically trying to get a doctor because it was my 7th baby and everybody thought it was going to go really fast. And I mean, statistically, I think, more babies, faster labor, which totally makes sense. So they thought, and at this point, my water hadn't broken yet. So they were like, we'll get the doctor in, break your water, you'll have a baby probably really, really fast. And I was like, cool, that sounds good. What happened was most definitely not that. So, my doctor showed up, because of the GBS strep being positive, I got penicillin. I ended up getting 3 doses because I was in labor for 13 hours. But you need to get at least 2 for them to be satisfied with that strep being treated. I'm not 100% on the science of the strep and stuff, but I know that I got penicillin. So we were kind of waiting around until 8 o'clock because we wanted to get that antibiotic in me and it would be better for the baby. And yeah, so then 8 o'clock came around. My doctor broke my water, and then we were all thinking it was going to be go time. My husband, he's there. We're all there. We're ready. But I ended up staying at a 7. So, you got to dilate 0 to 10, 10 being time to push. And I stayed dilated at a 7 for 8 hours. And this was, part of it was broken water, part of it was not. But it was very unusual, and my doctor's like, this isn't normal. We got to try some stuff, right? So every time, so I had an epidural at this point. Epidural as soon as I got there, as soon as possible. That's how I do it. If that's not how you do it, more power to you. Please be kind in the comments. I know people are so opinionated about things like that. So that's how I do it. I got an epidural as soon as I could. So I had an epidural. I'm sitting in the bed having contractions and not dilating anymore, which is concerning. So, and especially since, my body's done this 6 other times and every other time it dilated. So my doctor's like, okay, we gotta do something. I end up, so the first thing she tried, and so they started me on a little bit of Pitocin, and I couldn't feel the contractions because I had an epidural anyways. And the Pitocin was and they only did like a 1. I don't know how far up the Pitocin can go, but it was, the smallest amount that they could give me to hopefully maybe kind of bump up those contractions if they weren't dilated. If I wasn't dilating, maybe the stronger contractions could help with that. So they just gave me the smallest amount of Pitocin, and every time I had a contraction, new baby, London's heart rate would go down. And it was getting to the point where it was concerning. So they stopped the Pitocin, and her heart rate would go from like 150 to like, my husband, he was watching the thing. He said he saw 34 once. So it was pretty shocking. And my doctor's like, hey, yeah, that's not gonna fly. So she ended up trying to, because at this point they'd already broke my water, and she ended up trying to put more fluid into my belly, or my uterus, so that the contractions would not be as intense on the baby, thinking maybe that would help if like her cord was squished, or they were thinking maybe her cord was wrapped around her neck and that would help with the contractions, and then I would dilate and all the things. But adding water didn't really work. It didn't do much. So then, they're turning me because I have an epidural, and nothing's really happening. It was really, really weird. So, my doctor calls in another doctor because she doesn't really know for sure what to do. And she's looking for advice and like, what would you do in this situation? And so she gets the other doctor in. They're figuring out that London is actually, so if my pelvis is like this and the baby's got to go through the birth canal out, her head was stuck in my pelvis. So that's why I wasn't dilating. That's why the contractions were bringing her heart rate down, because she was stuck. I don't know which shade I should use for this. But so she's stuck. She's very stuck. And they couldn't maneuver her the way that they wanted to get her unstuck. She was very, very stuck. And they thought maybe the cord was wrapped around her neck. They also thought perhaps, she was my biggest baby that I've ever had. My kids, they range from, before London, 6'6", 6 pounds, 6 ounces, 6 pounds, 12 ounces. I had the last baby, Maisie, was 7 pounds, 1 ounce. So that's the biggest baby that I've ever had. And I'm a very, very tiny person. I'm 5 feet tall, very short. Put on a little extra weight recently, but that's gonna go away. But yeah, so They thought maybe really big baby and cord wrapped around her neck. They couldn't get her to turn. And at this point, I was like, oh gosh, 12 hours in, 11 hours in. And my epidural was starting to wear off. And I told them, I said, if you need to do a C-section, just do a C-section. I am starting to get into pain, and this is taking forever, and I just want her safe and I want her out. So the doctors really didn't want to have to do a C-section because, I mean, it was my 7th baby, and they really didn't want to have to put me through that, which I do really appreciate. But if push would have come to shove, I would have done a C-section. Like, whatever it takes to have a safe, healthy baby and a safe, healthy me. And I was very, very worried about her at this point too. Like, we'd been doing this for a long time. Her heart rate's going down. I'm worried about her. So yeah. It was very stressful, very not expected, very, very, the hardest labor I've ever had. So they couldn't get her to turn. They couldn't get her to go into the birth canal. She was super stuck. My doctor said that in the 15 years she's been delivering babies, she was one of the most stuck. So, they were like, okay, you got some options. Before they tried to unstick her, I left that part out. Go back a little bit. So before they were like, you have options. My doctor, I was dilating a little bit. Like the contractions were doing a little bit. But whoa, not a lot. So I was like 9.5, right? And it taken way longer than it usually did for me to get there, but I was like a 9.5. And my doctor said, okay, let's just try to push. Let's try to push. Maybe you'll dilate a little more with the pushing. And I pushed for about an hour, which is very unusual for my last few babies. Last couple babies, I pushed like for 8 minutes and then we had a baby. So I pushed for about an hour, which is absolutely exhausting. And still wasn't dilated to a 10. Still nothing was happening. Her heart rate was going down. Then she brought in the other doctor and she's like, hey, what do you think we should do? Because that's when they discovered she's extremely stuck. And you have some options. Would you like to? They were willing to try the forceps or the vacuum or keep pushing. Maybe something will like move her over. Or we wait 30 minutes, try some different positions. Maybe she'll move out of my pelvis and into the birth canal. And at that point, I decided I was going to wait. The epidural had almost entirely wore off. So I was in the most pain that I've ever been in for a birth ever. Because I usually have the epidural, get done real quick, and then we're good. We're good to go. So I ended up, if you know what a peanut ball is, it's like an exercise ball, but I ended up laying on my right side with the peanut ball in between my legs, and we were really hoping that that would get her to move, to shift out of my pelvis. And this is gonna get a little TMI, so if you have ever had a baby, or even if you haven't, when it comes time to push, you feel a lot of pressure. Okay, so I'm laying on my right side, peanut ball between my legs, for 30 minutes praying that she's gonna get unstuck. And when it's time to push, you feel a lot of pressure that I have never actually felt because I always have an epidural. And you can kind of feel the pressure with an epidural, but this was the most intense pressure I need to push right now, pain, that I've ever felt. And I wasn't really sure, like, I was crying and in pain, and I told my husband, I was like, we gotta push. I can't, this is, yeah, you know? So he said, just, you can do it. He was super supportive, very, very kind. I mean, he's incredible. So he's like, just wait. Maybe she'll get unstuck. You know, this will be it. Then you can just push her out. And it was extremely painful. But my doctor came back in and I said, this is the most intense pushing pressure I have ever felt. And she said, more intense than before. And I was like, yeah. So she said, okay, let's get the doctors in. Let's check you. I forgot to mention, because she was, I mean, makes sense. Because she was stuck in my pelvis, she was still super high up. And they got to come down. They got to come down the birth canal. That's what we were hoping would happen, right? So they can come out. So she was, when she checked me, after waiting the 30 minutes, I had dilated all the way. She was all the way down. And it was time to push, which was extremely welcomed. So we, oops, almost dropped my, I need another eyeshadow brush. So ready to push. But because the epidural had worn off significantly, it was the closest thing I've ever experienced to natural childbirth, and it was extremely painful. I mean, duh. But I might have pushed for another, I don't know, it didn't feel that long to me, but I don't remember. I'd have to ask Slade. So I pushed for a little bit longer, and then she came out. She was 7 pounds, 8 ounces, biggest baby I've ever had. And which makes sense, I think. I mean, based on the fact that I've had 6 other babies, and because I've gained a little weight, and you know, all the things. So many factors. And remember how she was breech and then not breech? I think this had a lot to do with her cord, because her cord was, I mean, so it's coming out of her belly button, right? It went around her shoulder, around her back, and then through her legs. So it was wrapped around like her whole body. Oh, and we already had the NICU in our room, because when they broke my water, there was meconium in the water, which is whatever newborn baby's poop is made of, because it's not made of like food. It's just like amniotic fluid and stuff. So the NICU was already in the room ready, but because they had tried to add water and it had been so long, we didn't really have an issue with meconium, which I was super thankful for, because one of my other kids aspirated meconium. But so NICU's already there. She comes out, and she didn't scream initially and cry. She didn't cry initially. So my doctor was pretty concerned about her. She ended up So my doctor was teaching another resident doctor, and he was front and center. She was standing on the side. And as soon as she came out, she was like, hand her to NICU. And the new doctor, the doctor resident who's learning, tried to hand her to NICU while she was still connected. The umbilical cord was connected to the placenta. So it was really funny. But Slade didn't get to cut the cord on this one. He's cut the cord on all the other ones. But he didn't get to cut the cord because my doctor was like panicking and he was trying to hand, and it was such an ordeal. And but she went straight to NICU because she didn't cry initially, but they sucked her nose out and they got her to cry, and she was okay. So not straight to NICU far away, but like next to me, they have their little baby station. She was in there. They were making sure she was okay. And yeah, I didn't tear it all. It was just a very long experience, but she ended up being like the most healthy baby we've had. She just really had a hard time showing up. Also, while we were in the hospital, right? This is the kicker, the cherry on top of the ridiculous cake that was my last birth story. They all of the their system went down. So the computer that they're typing everything into, plus all of their little cell phones that they have that they, like, call NICU, hey, we need you room, whatever. Yeah, everything went down. All of the system and the computers, they had to write everything by hand. They printed off my contractions on like a piece of paper, an old-fashioned piece of paper, instead of like watching them on a monitor. It was crazy, the panic that happened. And this was during my like hour and a half of pushing. So it didn't end up being a gigantic deal, but it was shocking while it was happening, and all the doctors and the nurses are like so that was fun. But she was she's healthy. She ended up, so because I have A negative blood, we're pretty sure Slade definitely has positive blood. Not quite sure what letters he has, but, the last 4 babies that we've had have been Coombs positive, meaning, they have a harder time with bilirubin. I'm not quite sure. I don't remember exactly, but they usually are a little yellow, and we have to just make sure we get all that bilirubin out, and they eat really well and things like that. It's just another extra thing we have to deal with. But London is not. She has A positive blood, but she's not Coombs positive, which I didn't even know was a thing that could happen. So that's cool. It makes her, she's super healthy. She's very cute. Her color's fantastic. Way different than the last 4 babies. But it's good. It's really good. She did give us a little bit of I don't want to call it a scare, but she did give us a little bit of an issue in the hospital. So, she passed her hearing test. This is tests that they got to do like after 24 hours of being there. And then if they pass these tests, you get to go home. At least at my hospital. So she passed her hearing test. super fast. I mean, incredible hearing, incredible. She just blew me away. The lady, the nurse lady, whoever lady that came in to do the test, she said, this can take like 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how fast they hear the sounds, right? I'm not quite sure how that works either, but they put little headphones on her ears, and she passed it in 3 minutes and 56 seconds. So she passed really fast, flying colors. And, but then it came to the test where they attach, like, it's to see if the oxygen is circulating through their system. They put like a monitor on their hand and a monitor on their foot, and their oxygen levels, they monitor like that. It's got something to do with their heart. It detects heart defects. I forget what it's called. Our last baby failed like all 3 of those tests. She had a little valve in her heart that didn't close all the way. So we weren't completely oblivious to how those tests could go. So, she failed the first one of those. And we were like, okay, this is it. We're going to have to do it again. I forgot a mascara. You knew this was going to be a long video, right? Because it's going to be long. So, she failed her first one of those. And we thought, okay, this is it. She's probably going to fail just like the other baby. We know how to do this. We'll just have to stay a little bit longer, right? 48 hours instead of 24. All my other kids are with my mom. They're good. But they do the test and then they wait 1 hour, and she passed after the hour, 100%, which blew my mind. I was not expecting that. So we are going home after only 24 hours, which didn't happen with the last 2 babies. So it was really nice. And like I said, she's passed all her stuff. She's doing fantastic. I can't wait to show her to you. So yeah, it was a very different experience from my other births. Every single one is different. I've mentioned before on my channel how it just absolutely blows my mind that I can have babies come out of the same human being. I've aged a little, but I'm not that different. And every baby story is different. Every birth story is different. Did I not blend my chin? Probably not. But yeah, that is my birth story for baby number 7. Okay, as I'm finishing up my makeup, let's start talking about some makeup stuff. Yeah, wow. Okay, shift gears. Makeup stuff. That's my birth story. Any questions? Anything you want to chat about? I would love to hear your birth stories. We're both healthy. We're both super good. I've done this a few times and it is going the same as it always does. I'm a week out and I'm already filming videos. I'll probably take maybe 1 more week off of teaching dance, but then I'll go back. I won't be dancing, but I will be there. And yeah, life is good. We're good. The kids love the new baby. It's really been super awesome. So, future of my channel, the products that have been burning a hole in my desk waiting for me to film with them. So I have oh my gosh, I love this. The Nomad Cosmetics new cruising collection. Seriously, the owner, I don't know if I'm talking to the owner or not on Instagram, but she reached out to me on Instagram, told me not to worry because she knew I was having a baby. And this company is just absolutely incredible. So, I will support forever. But I do have this fantastic collection that there will be a video coming up for. I just tried on a bunch of new makeup that we are going to talk about. Just my little first impressions in a moment. Just odds and ends, you know. I have the new Chanel denim collection that I need to film a video with. That will be coming to my channel. I picked up all 3 of the Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes. I have thoughts about these. Yeah. Subscribe so you don't miss out on these exciting new videos. I went back and forth on whether I was going to use this eyeshadow palette today or the Danessa Myricks. I went with the Danessa Myricks, obviously, but I can't wait to use this on camera with you guys. Love this. This is the new Farrah Homidi Essential Eye Compact. I got trio number 20. So pretty. Florasis sent me their new and like, oh my gosh, absolutely stepped up formula and packaging wise, powder and foundation. It's like a little magnetic thing and you scoop it out with the little scooper. It's gorgeous. This will be coming out soon and I can't wait to film with it. Absolutely fantastic. Florasis sent me those. Thank you. And then I have all of the shades of the Merit. I mean, you know. If you know me, you know. I have all the shades of the new Merit lip blushes. I'm going to be filming a video swatching all of those on my lips. So you guys will know. One's down for the count. So you guys can see all the colors and things. But, yeah. That is the exciting stuff coming to my channel. Now for what's on my face. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on my speed reviews. There probably won't be one for February. I didn't wear a ton of makeup in February. But there will definitely be one in March. At the end of the month, we will talk about all the makeup I've been trying out and testing. So, yeah. Okay. I started off with the Sarah Creel color corrector. I just did one little dot under my eyes and I mean, I really like what it did. I can't wait to keep trying this. This is a really, really nice color for me. I think like I just got the Kosas one. I need to compare them. The Kosas one was a little too dark, I feel, but this one, Sarah Creel K by the color corrector, it looked really pretty. So, first impressions, really like the light pink color of that. The MPH Le Skin, I got it in Fair 30N. This is the first time I've ever put it on. And I had really high hopes for it. I mean, it looks nice. But I felt like I had to set it with my Kosas Cloud Set powder. Because it was really, like, radiant. And I want a skin-like finish, and I think the Sephora site says medium coverage, natural finish, so I was really excited for a natural finish, but this is like weightless serum foundation. It's really very luminous. So, and it felt wet. So I had to set it before I put my powder blush on too, because it was like, I think it's going to make a mess if I don't. The color match looks really nice. I do really like the color. So, Fair 30N if we're shade twins. Yeah, first impression, it's a little too radiant, but I'm going to keep testing it. Patrick Ta Concealer. It looks really nice under my eyes. Did I set it? I didn't really set it, I don't think. Gonna definitely keep testing this out. I got this one in Fair Neutral 2. I mean, so far, so good. Let's see. Oh, I picked up 2 new shades of the Lisa Eldridge Silk eyeshadows. Paige and Sylvia. I think I used Paige as an eyeshadow primer today. I really, really, really like it. I love this formula. It's very, very nice. And I think this This might replace my Natasha Denona eyeshadow primer that is no longer available. So, gonna keep testing that out for sure. Paige is a lighter one. Sylvia is a little darker, but I really like this like taupey color. So, excited to keep testing those. And then, I used the Western Atelier in Olat, the newest like bronzer contour situation I got going on. It's so light. I'll probably reach for Biscuit over this one. That one's not a first impression. This I picked up, the Make Me Blush from YSL in 12. I think it's called Honeymoon. I decluttered my other powder highlighter from YSL. Powder blush. It was the peachy one, I think. I decluttered it. This is more of a radiant finish. Has a little bit of a sheen. It's not matte. This is fantastic. This is so beautiful. This might be like a powder version of my favorite Sochi Copper Spice blush. This is, I can't wait to keep using this. That's all I'm saying. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I really, really like the color and the like radiant finish of this one. Good stuff. Vanessa Myricks Freedom Palette. I mean, we were expecting greatness and it is great. The like eyeshadow look I got is more cool tone than I thought I was gonna be, but these are pretty cool tone colors compared to, I mean, like we have one warmer toned, almost like caramely mustard brown right here. If you cover that one up, everything else is pretty cool toned. So, yeah. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. I really like the eyeshadow look. Those glitters are fantastic. These are some absolutely incredible palettes. Love, love, love the Vanessa Myricks formula. All of it. Okay. I think that's everything I need to talk your ears off about today. Let me know down in the comments what you are most excited for, what videos you're excited to see. I am so happy to be back. It feels great. It's just awesome. I love doing this. Thank you guys for hanging out while I took a little bit of time off for Full Face February. Thank you for everybody who tuned into those videos. And yeah, I am excited to be back. Thank you guys. Okay, you've made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much. I love and appreciate you. Give this video a thumbs up if you love videos like this, and I will see you in my next one. Bye! Oh, we match. Oh, so bright. Can you say hi? And I really can't say much of nothing yet. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Mommy likes red, so. Oh. Okay, I just want them to see your little face. This is London Heather, and she's a week old today. And she's our last little baby. Number 7. This is number 2. 2 of 7 and 7 of 7.